Hello, guys. Listen, I came across this tonight on Zero Hedge, and I found it interesting. And I want to show you what it is. First off, just a sec. Okay, let's start the charts right here. Take a look at this. This is maps of the United States, and I found it very interesting. It's visualizing how America uses its land in various ways. Now, you see the yellow. The yellow is a huge part of this. That's pasturage or rangeland. And all out through the Midwest, look, all through the Midwest, this is pasturage and rangeland, is yellow. That's the yellow. Now, the green is forest. Now, what I noticed about this is the east is primarily where the forest all is in the east, and far in the west, up in the west coast, up and around on the other side of the Rockies over there, up in like the northern part of California, and the Washington state. There's an awful lot of forests up in there. But primarily in the east. Now, the Midwest, they don't have much forest. Like, there's a place through Texas and right up, a strip going right up through the Midwest. This is where they get all the tornadoes in this area up through there, through the Midwest. Now, cropland. There's an awful lot of cropland, and that's the brownish, orangish looking. There's quite a bit in California, too, and all up through, not so much through the direct center of the Midwest, but the eastern side of the Midwest. There's an awful lot of cropland. Up on the western side of the Great Lakes, there's an awful lot of cropland. Now, the blue is special use. I don't know what that's for, really. Special use, probably parkland or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. The pinkish looking stuff, the neon pink stuff there, that is urban areas. That's like cities and stuff. Now, you know what you got to notice about this? There's just a little sprinkling all across the country of this urban area, this pink, bright pink. And that was the area that voted for Hillary. The whole rest of the country, voted for Trump. All the rest of the country, which makes up the enormous part of the landmass, actually voted for Trump. Now let's take a look at this one. It says, by grouping each cover, we have wide bands by use of color. Now this defines area mass of the same thing that we were just looking at right here, with the pasturage here on the yellow. So if it was all pasturage, that yellow there would be how much pasturage it has. That's a lot of pasturage in the United States. Now, forest would be the green. That's a lot of forest. Cropland would be the brownish orange here. And the blue is special use. That's a lot of special use, actually. Did you know the special use part there is probably double what the urban part is? When you see the pink up in here is the urban part. So basically, all the people are mostly all concentrated in that pink area. Now, let's take a look at the next one. Here shows the concentration of where all the people are. That's how many states the people would occupy if all the people were compressed. They'd basically occupy that many states, and all the rest would be empty, which is interesting. Now, this one are national parks and wildlife areas. They dot the countryside. You can see there's a lot. They're well distributed, but most of them are out west, out around the Rockies. California is just swarming with them. And there's a whole bunch of them up around the Adirondack Park up here. But they're well distributed, and there's an awful lot of them down around Key West in the Everglades. But other than that, they're fairly well distributed, these parks. These parks, I remember when I was a kid, I used to go to the Smoky Mountain National Park every summer with my parents. In fact, my whole family used to go to the Smoky Mountain National Park, and there's bears there. We used to camp out, and the bears used to roam through the campgrounds at night, looking for food. There's all kinds of bears there, big old black bears. Okay, this is the special use area. This shows if you compressed all the special use area, how much land area this would take up. Now this one is agricultural land. This is the farms and stuff. You know, that's actually quite a bit of agriculture, really. The America is actually a breadbasket, you know. This one is the actual land area used to grow food Americans eat is a much smaller, only about the size of Indiana. Illinois and half of Iowa combined. More than a third of the entire corn crop is devoted to ethanol production. I didn't know that. A third of the corn crop is devoted to ethanol. Most cropland is used for livestock feed. Export is left idle to let the land recover. So yeah, I know. What they do is they let the ground go what's called fallow. They'll just let it go to seed for a couple years. Oftentimes, farmers will. Now, what's this one? It says, while the U.S. benefits from overall agricultural trade surplus, America's imported 15% of their food and beverage products in 2016. More than 30% of the fresh fruit and vegetables Americans consume come from other countries, predominantly Mexico and Canada. The amounts of U.S. land used to produce citrus fruits alone is larger than Rhode Island. So this is the amount of land right here that would be needed if you grew all the citrus, oranges and stuff like that. That's a big piece of land. That's almost the size of, say, Florida, required for citrus. Americans must eat an awful lot of citrus then. It says more than 1/3 of the land used for pastures. The largest land use type in the contiguous 48 states. So this is all pasture land. It's well distributed, isn't it? Single major occupant on all of this land, cows. Between pastures and cropland used to produce feed, 41% of U.S. land in the contiguous states revolves around livestock. So this whole big square area right here would be livestock land that's used in the United States. If these two squares right here would be all livestock. So a lot of livestock. Like I say, America's a breadbasket. In other words, they produce a lot of food for the world. I think if you were to cut America's food off from the entire world, I think starvation would set in. Forest lands, it says, is the last major category of land categorized by the USDA. Unprotected forests and timberland constitute 1/4 of the contiguous United States. So here is all the forests right here. You know, that's a lot of forest. I wonder why, with that much forest, why they import so many wood products. They don't really need to import so many wood products from Canada with that much forest. And here's how it would look if you compressed it all into one area, all the forests. Now, they're putting all the maps together here in this one. Food we eat, I can see food we eat right up here. I can see livestock feed. The big one in the center is cows. That whole big block in the center is yellowish looking as cows. Timberland is two green ones. It's all timberland on the west side there. It's all timberland. Federal wilderness is the blue, and the pink is and the red, or bright pink, is urban and commercial areas. So I found that interesting. I hope you guys did too. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next show very soon. Bye-bye for now, guys.